Hey everybody, welcome back to another movie review. Hope you guys been enjoying the content channel as of late. Excuse me if my hair seems a little all over the place. Just getting back into home. It's a little bit late also, my apologies. And apologies also for maybe the lack of videos as of late. Had some things happening at work, excuse me, which I might discuss in the next video or so. But I decided to check this out with my brother, just out of curiosity, morbid curiosity, I will admit. But definitely have some thoughts on this one. That film that we're going to be discussing today is The Sheep Detectives, which was directed by Kyle Balda, did I say his name? Who is known for co-directing a couple of movies here and there, namely films from Illumination. Those films include The Lorax, Minions, and Despicable Me 3, as well as Minions: The Rise of Gru. And he eventually moved over to Pixar, where he worked on a couple of their movies there. I believe the screenplay is by Craig Mazin. Yes, he's the guy who gave you the Last of Us show, with the Chernobyl show as well. And this is based off of a novel called Three Bags Full. And this stars Hugh Jackman and a bunch of CG sheep, voiced by various people. Bryan Cranston, Bella Ramsey is also a voice. I believe Julia Louis-Dreyfus is also a voice as well. And as the story goes, we follow George at the beginning, who is played by Hugh Jackman, who is a isolated shepherd. And he takes care of a flock of sheep, and he has a specific bond to these sheep, specifically one of them. And they all, have their own little community, and he raises and, takes care of these sheep, reads them stories, mainly that of detective stories, and they're all, enamored by those specific stories. One night, they find George just not waking up. And it turns out that George has passed on, or it may be actually more than that, as they come to find that he was actually murdered. And as the title implies, the sheep decide to take on the mystery themselves and solve the case in finding out what happened to their very caring and beloved shepherd. So when I went into this, I did not expect much. I was expecting, I'll admit, maybe something very campy and very cheesy, based off the trailer alone. I wasn't really thinking that this was going to be much. Coming out of it, though, I must say, I am genuinely surprised by how much I enjoyed the film. I don't love it, I will say that for the record. I don't love this film. There are a few little small issues that I have with it, but generally speaking, by the detail and how much that detail is being utilized here, and how much of a commitment of the filmmaking actually, like the fact that this movie does really give a shit about what its premise is and not just doing whatever, shows a lot of the strengths in its overall filmmaking and craftsmanship. Because Kyle Balda, the guy behind the camera, he clearly wanted to develop a genuine story, and I think that he absolutely gets that here. I really buy into all the characters. I really buy into the dynamics. I think that all the CG sheep, which my brother pointed out, definitely could have been an animated feature on its own. I think that by the premise, what it actually is, you could have absolutely have told this in animation, but the fact that they went for live action, in some ways, is rather bold, and absolutely is a risk because of the visualization of what you're seeing. But it works really, really well, and I find myself all, enamored by these, little sheep. And the voices work really well. The voice actors also seem like they're actually caring. Like the amount of care that is put behind the film is shown. By the building of its mystery, by the comedy. I mean, the comedy is funny. It's subtle, but it's there and it's funny. The overall laying out of details of not only in the mystery but also the developments of the characters. There's like lingering little things that sometimes are brought to the forefront, and the other things are just kind of left without saying. It kind of goes without saying, you know? Like there's this one sheep that has knowledge about pretty much everything. And then there's specific things that happen in the movie, specific things about people or sheep that this other sheep knows about. And some of which we come to find out, things about him that didn't know prior. And then other things that we can see that he knows, but he's not going to say out loud. And it works because on two fronts. Number one, it tells you a lot about other characters and what's happening to them, but also from a screenplay standpoint, it shows the strengths of the screenplay as well, because it tells us that information like that, it's not needed for the story. We don't need to know that stuff, or the characters themselves don't need to know that stuff, because it would impact them in certain ways, right? So I really like that. I really like that this film is very self-aware, and that and self-aware very much so in that also things that are happening that may seem odd play a part, and they have a reason to exist. There's a point where like a character is like talking as if like he solves a mystery, and he starts talking and pointing to a certain person, and then that person goes, "You're acting like as if I'm the murderer," and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to act like that," and he moves on. I like that the fact that the movie does these things, deliberately, not for it's showing you some of the downsides or maybe some of the cheapness in its overall effect. They're showing you this for a reason. They're showing you this either for comedic effect or for actual genuine plotting, actual genuine structure, to build its overall mystery, right? So I really, really admire that about this film. And, because of that, it comes across also quite genuine and has such a heart, with these specific sheep. You could look at it maybe as if like, something kind of weird and odd, but I felt involved with them, and I liked that the film as a children's film, because a lot of times now in the modern day with children's films, they don't like to go darker, like how I used to do with older films, or something like kind of recently with like Animal Farm, for instance. This film goes to the dark areas. This film is not, trying to be so PG, in the literal and figuratively. It's like it's allowing itself to go into those areas, and because of that, you get more resonance. Like I was moved, seeing two CG sheep, just having a moment with each other that kind of echoes that of like The Lion King, which seems like the film kind of takes inspiration from. But it's heartfelt. It's charming. It has a funny side to it. It has a dark side to it. It has all around just a charming effect. It's just a really good time, and I really enjoyed myself. I will admit that the mystery itself, when it's all said and done, is maybe a bit blatant. That's a fault to, I think, a lot of just screenplaying, structuring overall mysteries. It's hard to create a genuine mystery and be shocked, by the end result. I had a feeling that it was this specific person. I never really like validated it in my head, but I had a feeling, especially because the choice at the end of the day, without giving away, kind of looks like a serial killer in my eyes anyway, so I assumed that it was probably him. But I was involved with it and had my doubts anyway, because of the developments that were on screen with these characters, really becoming involved with them, both in the live action, like the actual human characters, and with the CG, sheep. I was just involved with them, and I bought into the drama, and I bought into the, to the little things that they were setting up, and noticing the details, piling up on each other, and actually creating some kind of meaning, both for the mystery and for the characters themselves. It's really hindering on the strengths of those performances, both on voice acting and literal acting, and from the craftsmanship alone, from the filmmaking from behind this. It just shows that everyone is giving a shit, and you could have done this and people would not give a shit, and this would turn out something very, very differently. But for the fact that everyone is caring, you see what happens when you commit. And when you commit, you could sell it. And for the fact of what the Sheep Detectives is, commitment is key in this case. And we got that. And what we got from this, I think, is something very charming. I think is very just enjoyable. It just has a lot of resonance to it. It just flat out just works, and it has a lot of detail supplied with it. A lot that I did not expect from something like this. So yeah, I really enjoyed myself with this. I was expecting something completely different, but from what I got out of it, it was very charming and surprisingly well crafted for what its literal concept is. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on The Sheep Detectives. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a genuine good time. I think it's a great film for the family. It has all of what I believe to be a great family film. It's not a film that cheaps out for kids. Like, there's no fart jokes or, there's some little jokes here and there for, younger demographics, but not to where it feels like, okay, now we're like, going, above and beyond, with the antics or campiness. It finds that nice middle ground to where it can be like that to some extent, but also, going out of its way with all those details supplied and with the developments and the resonance. It's like I said, just said a couple times in this review. It gives a shit about what it is, and it commits to it, rather than going the other way around where nobody really cares, and then it turns out some different way, So commitment is key in making this good, and there's a lot of it in this. But you guys, what are your thoughts on The Sheep Detectives? If you guys have seen it, I know it's not doing particularly well at the box office. But let me know your thoughts if you guys have seen it in the comment section below. If you've read the book, based off the book, if you guys are familiar with it, let me know that as well. If there's any real differences between the stories, I don't know. But let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.